Come on. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Athletic dads, welcome back to the channel. I am joined by another athletic dad. Here's what we're gonna get into today. We have some Austin Jochian inspired snatch work. We're gonna go 20 minutes every minute on the minute. We're gonna start at a lower percentage, work up, hit a ton of singles. We're gonna work to a top set of a power snatch from the ground. Then we're gonna go into a split stance deadlift. We're gonna work to a heavy double from there, and then we're gonna go a little upper body pump. We're gonna go top set of 12, so 3 sets, just like we did with the deadlifts earlier last week. We're gonna go 3 sets to a top set of 12, get buried there, and then we're gonna pair that with some upper body speed work. And wanna introduce my buddy here, the best hair in the industry. This is T-Rob. T-Rob, why don't you tell everybody about who you are and what you do?
So, Trevor Robertson, I coach here at T3 Performance, and I'm at 2 different high schools locally, run their strength conditioning programs there.
Heck yeah. And you joined us after last year's summer internship program?
Yeah, September, mid-September, late September-ish.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And his background was he played some basketball and then was doing basketball training,
Yes.
right? And then getting into personal training, took our internship and did an awesome job, just like really went above and beyond, did a great job with our athletes. The story that I always like to talk about when it comes to Trevor is on his last day of his internship, after he walked out, I got a text from one of our athletes who said, yo, that guy with the nice hair, beard, and tattoos, whoever that guy is, you need to have him on staff and you need to have more coaches like him. So anytime you get something like that from an athlete, you know that that individual is doing an amazing job. And right after that, we hired him and he's just kind of taken off, man, doing a really good job here in the beginning of his career, first year or so of his career. Got a lot of really good things going on in his life, really exciting stuff coming up, just got engaged. So like we're super stoked about that. And there's a lot of really awesome stuff coming up there. Let's get after this training session. Hope you enjoy it. You got any questions, leave them in the comments. We'll get those answered on another video. I had a great question asked on one of my last videos about how can I get my dad into training? My dad, this is a son asking, how can I get my dad into some training if he hasn't done anything athletic in a while? We go through and talk about that, and we'll have a great session, all right? So enjoy the session, and let's do it.
Let's get after it.
Here we go, baby. So like we talked about in the intro, we are doing our Austin Jochian inspired 20-minute EMOM for snatches. Basically started at a percentage, we went 72%, then 77, then 82. So we're 15 reps through. Now we're going to kind of push each rep, make sure we hit them all. We're up to 205. I'm going off of an original max at like 235-ish. It's been a minute since I've really maxed this. So that's what I'm going off of. Be nice to be able to hit that. Be nice to be able to hit more. So we'll see what happens. Again, we're 15 sets in. I've done this once or twice before. We had Kean O'Brien on the Cutoffs and Coffee podcast, and he talked about doing EMOMs for Olympic lifts up to 20 minutes or so. And when I did that, I PR'd my clean, which was unbelievable. I didn't think that would happen after 20 reps of heavy clean. So here we are, getting into it. 5 more minutes to go. Again, 5 reps. We're at 205. We'll see what we end up getting done here. This is a really good strategy if you're trying to get a lot of practice in, a lot of volume in with Olympic lifts or really any type of movement that you need some extra work with. Really good strategy. Every minute on the minute, so you keep the weight a little lighter. You get tons of reps. Again, we're gonna end up doing about 20 reps of snatches here on the day. Really good technique work, if anything. We're 225. We hit this 2 weeks ago from position 1, so this should be no problem. I'm just not great off the ground. I got a good strong deadlift. I have an issue kind of transferring it to overhead. That's why I've been moving my hands in a little bit, helping with the pull, and then feels a little stronger overhead. 225. Ooh, ugly. Ugh. All right, last set, 240. This would be a big win. Feel pretty good about that 235. I haven't hit that weight on the snatch in a while. See what we can do here. Come on. pretty ugly. Big punch overhead, come on. Big punch. Yeah. Nice. I do want to give one anti-dad bod because again, we've got two guys who are representing hashtag team anti-dad bod. So I want to give our anti-dad bod tip of the day. The tip is with breakfast, either make sure it is high protein or totally fast and eat nothing. If you do that for 30 days, you're gonna feel amazing and it's gonna be able to maintain energy throughout the day. You don't think so if you're fasting, but if you have any fasting experience, you know that that's gonna be really good to be able to carry some energy throughout the day. And I trained, you haven't eaten yet today, right?
I had gummy worms.
Gummy worms, okay. So a little bit of sugar spike, little glycogen spike, gonna fuel us through this workout, but I haven't had anything today and I feel great. We're gonna hit the training session. I'm gonna go home in a little bit and then have a ton of eggs and some sausage links that I've been eating recently that are 15 grams of protein, just packing in anywhere between like 50 and 60, sometimes 70 grams of protein for breakfast, but kind of, delayed later in the day. I've been using this fast or high protein strategy now for almost 12, 15 years. And I don't mean this as a brag, but getting my blood work done over the last like 2.5 years or so, I've been under like 8% body fat the whole time. And a lot of that I say is because of, and I truly believe it's because of like the first meal I have of the day is either nothing or high protein. And even if I get into lunch, it'll be high protein too. But anyway, that is the anti-dad bod tip of the day. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, even do. We were talking about how you're pretty new to Olympic weightlifting. What's your experience been like from trying to learn the movements and then ultimately to the point where now you're coaching these movements in a team sport setting?
So I started back in the summer internship of summer of 24. And that's the first time I ever started doing anything, high pulls, cleans, snatches, learning how to do that and coaching that. And then me and Coach Spencer in December of 24 decided to start training consistently together. And then we started implementing the cleans, push jerks, snatches.
Heck yeah.
So I mean, it's been a road, to say the least. And
yeah.
If you're training with Spence, you don't want to do 9 sets of 3. Don't come here. Just being honest.
Yeah. Don't train with him.
I wasn't ready when I signed up for this.
Yeah. Yeah. Even like I love it. I've been training with him for almost like 8-10 years.
Yeah.
But just like a casual 100 pull-ups to finish up.
Yeah.
Some hypertrophy work for the lats.
Yeah.
Bro, you're doing sets of 2. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, his program is pretty gnarly. One more set?
One more.
Have you been able to get proficient enough to feel some of these qualities kind of transfer over to you on the basketball court?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah?
I'm jumping easier. My knees aren't hurting as much unless we're doing split squat stuff beforehand. Like the next day, my knees are shot. But a lot of this, I feel more explosive coming off the ground.
It's awesome.
Like I'm jumping higher, jumping more free, I guess would be the right word for it. Less restrictions on my body.
Yeah, I think a big thing is, dude, the movement is so athletic.
Yeah, it is.
That it's just like, in my mind, I just feel like it carries over to a lot of positions that we get into when we're on the court or on the field or whatever that is. And because it's also so technical, you can get better at it every single session.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, I'm almost jealous you've only been doing it for a couple months, because it's like you've got so much progress to be able to make. Nice.
Ooh, that was bad. That was a bad final rep.
You feel a good rep, you can really feel the bad rep too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There it is.
All right. I got a really good question the other day on one of my videos, and the guy was asking, as a son, how do I get my father motivated to go to the gym and do things athletically and train like an athlete? So the assumption is from the question that he's, first of all, not really even training. So I think 3 things when it comes to just like committing yourself to a training program or getting into fitness for the first time. 1, I think you've got to have a super low barrier to entry. So you got to go to the gym 5 minutes away as opposed to the nice, cool, better gym 15 to 20 minutes away, right? So it needs to be super low barrier to entry, even if it's doing stuff at home, right? Get some stuff for the house so you don't have any excuses. I think that's number 1. Number 2 is I think it's helpful if you as an individual who's training incentivize yourself. If I train 6 times this month, I then get this thing, right? And that's one of those like kind of short-term gratification goals, but I do think it helps to have something in your mind where you're thinking, okay, if I go accomplish this task, do this thing that I'm saying I'm doing, which I know is challenging, I will eventually get this from it. And then whatever that thing is going to be different based on the individual. I think the biggest thing is the mindset change. So all of the times that I've seen either an athlete or an adult have massive progress in training, it's because they've changed their mindset to become a person who trains, who exercises. And I think that's the biggest thing, because then you have to make decisions based off of what somebody who exercises would do. So if that's get up a little earlier, then that's what I need to do because I am the person who embodies somebody who trains, right? If it's I need to leave work and go straight to the gym, even though I don't want to, that's something that somebody who's fit and who's athletic and who exercises would do. I think that's super important. So mindset is huge, incentivize yourself, super low barrier to entry. And then when you're in training, all you gotta do is get in there and move, think lower body, upper body, and then get out of there, right? If you're just getting into it, lower body, compound movement, upper body, compound movement. It can be on machines, it can be dumbbells, it can be barbells, it can be whatever you want. Just make sure you get in there, kind of check those 2 boxes. And if you want to be more athletic, that's where we want to start throwing in some of the jumps. If I'm doing jumps for the first time in a long time, I'm thinking long ground contact time. So if you're doing a box jump, spend a long time on the ground, kind of getting down into the squat, jumping onto a box, good comfortable landing. If you're doing pogo hops, instead of that real elastic kind of up and down movement, take your time jumping to the ground, getting up off the ground, so you slowly kind of prepare your tissues and tendons for the demands of the jumps, because you don't want to go into jumping for the first time in a long time, just like sprinting and go all out. So that is my advice for somebody who, in this scenario, is a son who wants to try to get his dad to go back into the gym, right? But also if you're an individual who's just kind of looking for some motivation, try to look at those 3 to 4 things and see if you can get yourself motivated and get yourself in a good groove to be able to show up and get to the gym a couple times a week.
I think another good thing for a good incentive is that as you're getting older, your kids are going to have grandkids. Like you're going to have these kids, you want to be able to keep up with them. You're not getting any younger as those ages add up.
Yeah, and you don't think about it until you get in the situation and you're not able to do it. That's the sad thing.
Yeah.
Right? Then you think,
wanting to lift your grandkids and everything, you can't lift them up.
Then you think, man, I was just training. I should be able to do this. And you realize it's been 10, 15, 20 years.
Yep.
And that's a great way to approach it, because again, I keep talking about on this channel, like I want to have something that my daughter can look back on and think, wow, dad was doing this when he was young and I'm 10, 15 years old, he's still doing this stuff. That's been the thing for me to be able to stay super consistent, because it's been different, right? Like training for sports, you're gonna go in, you're gonna train because you want to be the best athlete because you're competitive, you know? But now, as fathers, you know, there's no real sports unless you're hooping on the weekends, you're playing flag football or something. There's not really a ton of motivation to come in and train because you think you can still go out and do it. But man, thinking about how you're gonna show up for your kids, thinking about how you're gonna show up for your family, show up for your wife, that's such a huge part of it. And I always feel so much better after training. The person that I am, I'm just a much better person when I've challenged myself, and kind of makes everything else you do way easier. So we're going doubles here in the split stance, trying to work up to just a heavy set of 2. 315 here. Oh yeah, I gotta dig in, gotta find out. Yeah. So you say, I wonder, we could even put a plate back there or something, or we can just rip.
I'm about to just rip.
Yeah, probably the best approach.
Between this and our basketball court, there's no grip on either one of them.
Yeah, right. Trevor's a big time hooper, serious dunker. Serious dunker. We talked about when the channel just started having a dunk session together, so we'll do that at some point. Yes. Yes. All right. I should start on my weaker side. The side that I feel
I'm the opposite.
worse on, are you?
I start strong side.
Yeah, and usually I do that. I'm just thinking here in this scenario, I might.
Yeah.
Yeah, big difference when that back foot's playing. Like, I feel pretty solid back there.
Got something.
I could
there.
imagine if you're sliding, it's your tough spot.
There it is.
Whoa!
See, one of the hardest things for me being tall and all legs, stuff like this, you gotta go so much further.
Yeah, dude. Really puts you at a disadvantage.
It's terrible.
It's funny, when I'm coaching taller athletes, a lot of times I'll say, hey, your advantage is that you're tall. Your disadvantage
Is that you're tall?
is that you're tall.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's great for your sport, but once you step out of your sport realm and you're in the weight room, benching becomes harder, squatting becomes harder.
Yeah.
Deadlifting becomes harder.
Man,
The whole nine, which sucks.
that's what makes it even sicker if you're tall and big and strong.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because you know what it's like firsthand to deal with those genetics. Here we go, just one. Yeah. Nice.
I'm taking that a second one.
Yeah. Let's take it. Dude, we said on the last video, man, like, that's another good point for people who are getting into it. Like, have an individual who you train with who keeps you accountable.
Oh, yeah.
Would have been real easy for him to hit that and then just flip to the other side, but got the camera on, here with the homies. Might as well rip it.
Here we go.
Come on. Big push. Yeah. Oh.
Nope, not that leg.
Let's get the other one.
Going.
And with unilateral work,
Oh,
right?
my
It's like,
God.
gotta do,
It's so
gotta
bad.
do both sides.
That's probably what the problem is.
Come on. Come on. Yes. Yes. Yeah, boy. It's got a long way to go.
Dude,
Long way to go.
that's some distance.
I've probably done this movement 4 times, 5 times ever. And what I love about variation is it's a win after win after win
Oh,
after
yeah.
win. Right, if you're cleaning for the first time, snatching for the first time, do the bar, PR.
Yep.
You know? You do a split stance variation of a deadlift, empty bar, PR. 135 PR. 225 PR, you know? It's just a great way to stack wins constantly. All right, so I'm gonna do the opposite of what I said last time. We'll go right side first.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Come on. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
That took its time. We got there. All right. All right, last thing we got, we have 3-plate decline bench. And T-Rob and I were both saying we haven't decline benched, especially at this height.
It's been some years.
I was gonna say ever, maybe? Yeah. High school, I was decline benching a lot because it was the first bench variation. We could do 225. So like we were decline benching every day. But we're gonna go 3 sets, work up to a top set of 12. So each set will be 12. And we're gonna pair this with a med ball throw variation that's pretty sick. Nice little athletic overhead med ball throw. So we'll spin around and show you that here shortly. Just because I figure if I haven't done it in a while, I should probably do it. I've been benching for 20 plus years, so gotta find stuff like this. Gotta find different variations that are intriguing that make me want to bench, because if not, I'd go a long time without doing it. Oh boy. Woo. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. All right, so some upper body speed here. We're gonna do a drop, catch, and throw with the med ball. Good to do things with the upper body, slow and heavy, and also light and fast, just like you wanna do with your lower body. So this is a great variation. Get a nice little speed stimulus to the upper body. We got 4s. Up. Up. Up.
Bang.
And shout out to Lock-In Workhorse Training. Had him on the podcast as well. He does a ton of the upper body speed stuff. So check him out, because he has a lot of really good stuff here. Drop. Rip. Drop. Yeah. Drop. Up. All right. Let's see. Last set. Two more.
There it is. Yeah.
Ooh.